Morning everybody, welcome to Stockradar Stocks in the Move for another week. Today's date is the 16th of January 2025. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. Okay, always searching for the next big thing, but there are ways of doing this and we're going to follow through that today. There's some big things in our top 10 at the moment which we're running for, but how do we find them? How do we get into our portfolio? I'll talk about that a bit later on in trading tactics. There are ways and means of doing these things. Okay, the market, well, last night, fantastic. Just when things were looking a bit sour again earlier in the week, we've jumped off again, so the buyers have come back in there. So I'll have a look at some of those charts today. But let's first get to the top 10 and have a look at that, see how that's looking at the moment. Okay, Aristocrat probably is already a big thing almost. It's doing really well. Gold Road, well, some of the gold stocks took off yesterday. They're looking pretty nice. Qantas is our surprise package. Ansell's a steady performer, looking very nicely. GMD is doing well. JB8's targeting $100. Well, $100 is great. Through $100 is really exciting. Origin's making new highs. Pro Medicus is doing well. And ALQ and AMP are two early starters. We'll have to wait and see what happens with them and whether one of them becomes a big thing. Big things. The prospect list I use is the top 150 stocks, and there are plenty of big things that occur down there. I don't need to go down to the risky end of the scale, to the smaller end of the market. There's plenty of good stocks, plenty of huge runners, whether it be Technology One or any of these stocks that run on. The top 150 has provided plenty of ammo for me, so I'm pretty happy with that. So we can focus on those stocks, and we can find some good ones in there. Okay, now from the top 10 now to what we've got down 4 to 54 picks. There were a few ETFs I reduced. I had a bit of a change this week in my 6 months data review, and I just refined the ETF area a bit. So there's a couple of ETFs that come out there, and the stocks come out of there. So we're down to 4 out of 454. Down 4 to 54 stock picks of 177. Data items. We have 41 stock picks of 153 stocks, 13 ETFs of 24 ETFs at the moment. So still a small bangle, but we're doing quite nicely with those stocks we have there. Okay, now what we want to have a look is the overseas markets, of course. Now, of course, the Dow Jones, well, it came down, hit the little support area here, and it's bounced pretty sharply again last night. So, this market just won't go away. All of a sudden talk about lower interest rates. Well, here we go again. The circus continues, but they're still in an uptrend. We've held our support here. We've bounced a bit. We've survived a bit of a selling challenge for the moment. So I think it's all pretty positive. And we look at the Nasdaq and the S&P. There really has been very little damage to their charts. You can see the Nasdaq's just really up near its highs still. S&P's a similar thing, not far off its highs. We've had a bit of selling through there, but nothing really significant. Momentum slowed a bit as the pace of the rise is slow a bit, but all looks fine. No damage to anything there. And our market as well, after sour early start to the week, we're going to bounce again this week, probably up 100 points to start with, and that's good fun. So the markets seem okay at the moment, not to worry too much for now. But be careful, watch your stops, as always. Okay, so let's have a look at gold now. Gold, again, it's up near its highs, it's holding, it's a little test of support, fiddling around a little bit, but there's some new green bars appearing here. Momentum slowed a bit as the market goes sideways, but still looks okay, gold, so no reason to change our thoughts there. Copper's had a bit of a bounce off that support area we talked about. We're still in the long-term bullish picture here. Good sign that this high level's holding. Nothing really much here in the volume stage or in the momentum stage. So again, copper's still in that range. They're not really telling us what it's doing much. And Brent crude's had another one of its little mini rallies, which it seems to try and unearth every now and then, but each one seems to fall short and weakens again. So we'll have to wait and see here. It's above the average. It's still below the trend line and below that series of lows going down there and below R1. So until we start to damage that sort of area there, we're not all that keen on crude. The only good thing about it there has been a bit of volume on the upside there. So it's one little bit of evidence, but not a whole big picture. So we'll just take that with a grain of salt for now. Okay, but keep an eye on it. All right, so that's the overseas markets for the moment. Now, talking about always looking for the next big thing there, the new IAG, the new TNE, always looking for those stocks, which is hard, which sometimes might seem elusive, but if you control what you do, which I'll talk about in trading tactics later on, you'll find these ones. So I'm going to look at some of the stocks today that could become a next big thing or could become a big runner for you. So let's see where we go. First, we're going to start off with ResMed. Now, ResMed's an interesting stock, which I did cover a week or two ago. We haven't really been involved in this move here because it hasn't really had any trend reversal qualities for us. It is an uptrend. It is high highs, high lows, but I've had no single until we got to here. So we now got to the new high here, and I know ResMed, it's climbed a bit of a wall of worry after that disaster, but there's quite a lot of bullish brokers out there who think this is a very good business. So I guess the thing is now that the market will make its assessment on ResMed around these highs here. This is now out there, $40 is the high. The price is currently $37, so we're just $3 shy at the moment. But it's looking good. It's rallying strongly. And again, we don't want to anticipate or expect anything in this market, because we know the stock market always surprises us. It's the unknown things that move the market. So all the known things that we know now don't really affect the market. It's the unknown things that come on board, like the black swans or the smaller black swans. So we've always got to be a bit careful about what we wish for here. But with ResMed, I look at the chart and that guides me. So for the moment, we're just sitting here short here. We're hesitating. The good thing about it is the sellers haven't hit the market yet, although we've had a good rise in ResMed. Trend intensity rating is 0, so it's in a good position to have a shot at those highs and maybe go through. And if it does go through, it's one of these healthy, exciting health stocks. And they will come back at some stage, because we know they've been some of those stocks like Sonic Healthcare, CSL have all been pretty dour, Cochlear for a while. And they'll make their comeback at some stage, and ResMed may be one to have a look at above those highs there. Okay, so that's ResMed. The next one I want to have a look at is AGL. We know the story's changed there. Lots happened over the last couple of years with AGL, but it is quite exciting, I think, because we had the big downtrend from up around $40. It came down to about, I don't know what it came down to, sort of $5, and we're now up around sort of a $10, $12 band there at the moment. So what we've got at the moment is we have a high here, we've got a correction here, we've now come back to this high here. We've failed for the moment to get through there, so we haven't been able to continue this up move. We've come back a bit, but we haven't come back too far yet, and I'm quite impressed by the resilience we're showing with the support coming through here at the moment. It's gone pretty quiet on the volume front there. Momentum holds just above 0, so things are pretty neutral there, which is what the trend intensity rating is really telling us. So for the moment, we stand neutral, but I'm quite keen to look at AGL, and again, it may be a really interesting stock if it can make new highs here above $12 and or $12.50, whatever it might be, and start to run on again, because it is an exciting story. So, you know, we just never know what these next big thing stocks will be, and it always surprises us. So I'm prepared for anything here. This is why I trade like this. I trade all these stocks because I know sooner or later one of them I'm going to hit and I'm going to get it right, whether it be those technology ones or Commodities, because they're in my group of stocks that I follow. So AGL makes a new high, then we're going to run with it. Okay, so that's AGL. The next one is Telstra. Read a bit about the AI stuff this morning in the paper. This lady Vicky, I'm not too sure what her surname is, who's now head of Telstra, is very keen on AI, throwing everything at it for the moment. And I've just been interested in it with Telstra for a while, because it has shown quite a bit of support, which I've been impressed with since it came off that sort of 340, 350 area. We've seen heightened volumes here. We've seen momentum move into the positive territory and looking quite strong. It's holding above the average now, and we're sort of flirting with this trend reversal level here at the moment. So this would be a trigger for me. And then above R1 again would be another trigger, 437. If we go back a few years in Telstra, and Telstra's been a boring stock every now and then, but we've had some pretty big trends in here, and you can see some of these moves here. 250 up to $6 in a couple of years. You know, it can do it if it wants to. So again, although we might sort of be a bit uninterested in Telstra these days, it is looking like an interesting stock, and it could do things. So potentially it could be one of those stocks. So it's in my group of stocks that I follow, and if I do get some signals, I will follow it, and hopefully it will turn into the next big thing. If it doesn't, then it doesn't, but that's the way it is. So but that's how I follow these things. So Telstra, to me, I like this high low here. We're flirting here. We haven't quite got through, but it looks very interesting to me. So keep an eye on Telstra, because it's moving quite good. It could be a good opportunity. Okay, I said before, there's a couple there that could be the next big things, and we've got Qantas, which is already running on. It's made all-time highs, and once we're in all-time high territory, it's blue. It's vacant space. Nobody knows what's going to happen up here. But I do know this stock has been very resilient. I know we came down a bit this week. It could well finish highs this week if it wants to. The week hasn't finished yet. So we've got 2 new highs here. We've got an uptrend phase here. We've got some fantastic volume that's been moving here. And you can see it's been a bit quietened down here, and that's through the corrective phase. So not a lot of selling's hitting this market, which is good. The volume's been good on the buy side. Momentum is excellent. So trend intensity rating for 10 is Qantas, and it's just really a matter of follow this stock high and raise your stop. Okay, and who knows where it will go, because it's already surprised us, I think, already. So we may be in for some more surprises yet. Just imagine if it started paying a dividend. Anyway, we'll see what happens. And Qantas, for me, it looks one worth following at the moment. Okay, and Computershare is another one which has done some amazing stuff over the years for investors. It really has been a fantastic stock. It's now trading up around $33, $34. It's broken out of a 2 year corrective phase, a fairly shallow correction, which is good. It's now just sharply broke straight through here and gone bang on some fantastic volume and momentum. So you can't deny this. And again, the little sideways for the last couple of weeks has been no real volume, no real selling hitting it like Qantas. So to me, the trend intensity rating was 8 at the end of last week when it came off a little bit, but it all looks good. Okay, it's above the average. Volume's good, slowed down a little bit because of the correction phase, and momentum's good. So all the conditions we need there for Computershare to continue its rally. And if we go back here a few years, you can just have a look at some of these rallies in Computershare, some of these big rallies it's had. This one taking us from $9 up to $20. This one's taken us from $10 to $28. This one so far has gone from 20 to 33. And, so it's just been a great stock. And we don't want to deny these things or look a gift horse in the mouth. So Computershare for me is really one that can still continue higher and really add some returns. Ansell, again in that health space, which I'm quite interested in at the moment because we have had a lot of sell-offs, and Ansell is emerging from a sell-off. Sometimes volatile, Ansell not hugely traded, but I like this last move here. We've seen the big downtrend, the accumulation pattern, and then the breakout up here, trend reversal, and then all of a sudden we start to get heightened volumes here. Let me just raise it up a little bit so you get a bit of a better idea. Heightened volumes here, momentum's been good, and we know when momentum goes flat, it just means the rise is continuing steadily. Okay, not slowing, not going faster, but acceleration is steady because it's above 0 and flat. So this is quite a good little trend for me. Trend intensity rating is +9 for Ansell. It's made a new high. It had a trend reversal. All these constructive things that we'd like to see. It's above the average, and again, it's one you raise your stop, and hopefully it will take you to where you want. If not, then we just manage it out and we move on to the next one. So Ansell is one that could well be a good one. Okay, so I did mention before what we were looking for was the new IAG or the new T&Es, and this is how they look. You can see this huge rise here from $16 to $30, and again with Insurance Australia still sitting there and really wanting to go through this high, and it'll be interesting to see what happens today because they had a good rally this week so far against the market generally, and it's still up around these highs. So it looks like a very interesting chart to me. If it does get through again, who knows where the market can take us. So Insurance Australia is another good stock, already repaying us in spades from back down here at around about $5.45. Okay, so they're the ones we're looking to do, but this is what we want. We don't want to go to double our money overnight. It takes time for these things to develop. So patience and discipline are really important when we're trying to capture the next big thing. Okay, so that's those two stocks for you. So another one I want to have a look at again is Coles, which I've talked a little bit about the last couple of weeks or a few weeks ago. And the only reason I like this is because, well, I did go through Coles and Woolworths last week, and I find it extraordinary that Woolworths is really sagging really badly. I think it was down again yesterday. And Coles is flirting with its highs and also flirting with the breakout of a big trading range here. So I'd really like it to see it through this trading range because that really sets off a potentially good move for Coles. And what's going to drive it, I can't tell you. We don't usually know these things till they occur, but price doesn't lie, as we know. And if it gets through this area here, then it will certainly be a good signal to follow a new high entry. Volume down here. We can see some beautiful green bars have been coming through some of these rallies here, following them through here. A bit of a selling here, that's okay. It looks pretty good. Momentum is above 0 and positive. It's above the average. So all the conditions there are set and ready. But Coles just hasn't been able to get through there for quite a few years. But, you know, we didn't come back this time too much. We came back a little bit. 1750, we're back up challenging it again. So we're hopeful on Coles. Trend intensity rating is not in that neutral zone where we like it, ready to pounce on an uptrend. Okay, Coles looks fantastic, ready for a bounce. Don't do anything until it happens. Okay, on the smaller side of things again, just looking at a couple of stocks for you for a bit of interest. Select Harvest for those who want to play the agricultural thing, which is not that easy to play sometimes because there's not a lot of stocks and they can be a bit volatile. But Select Harvest caught my eye on the scan not long ago. When I look at this stock here now, it's come from way up there somewhere, $9.50, something like that. It's come right back down, and we've seen this big accumulation pattern occur below $4.50. Okay, now we're starting to get this high-low situation, which means the buyers are starting to get eager here, and we're just got to knock over these sellers, which is what it's trying to do at the moment. So we've got some steadier volume has come through here on this rise through here. Momentum is now starting to push above zero pretty well as the market breaks to new highs here above 450. So that looks like a really interesting stock to me at the moment. Again, be careful, they can be volatile, and so make sure you work with your stock, but Select Harvest looks like a very interesting opportunity at the moment. And the next one I'm going to have a look at, if we're talking about next big things, these are exciting stocks that are in the new wave of business. And Temple & Webster certainly in that spot there, running a nice little business there. And you can see here the chart, lots of nice classical patterns occurring here. But the main one I'm interested in at the moment is really this one up here, where we've got this market that's rallied right into this high here. If we get above here, we get an all-time high. We're not resigning from the challenge. We've got a higher step here, a higher step here. It's banging on the door really hard. A failure could bring it back a bit because it is trying hard, but a breakthrough here would be very bullish for Temple & Webster. And it is looking pretty interesting. It's gone pretty quiet on the volume front. Momentum is just in the positive area. So we're really, the volume quiet in this area as people aren't too sure what they're going to do. We're looking for an explosion of volume if the price does break through, just to validate the move a bit. So Temple & Webster certainly looks like it's ripe and ready to move through those highs. And if it does, that's a signal for us to go for it. Okay, so there's lots more interesting stocks hitting the radar on our trading centre. We help you find trends, new highs, trend reversals, and show you where to set our stops. And amongst all those stocks will be one of the couple of those big things that you will capture if you do this sort of thing. So I'm going to show you some slides in a second that we'll go through to explain a little bit more about what I'm doing and how Stockradar works. Okay, so let's go to the slides. Okay, so firstly, well, the next big thing is stop talking about it and doing it. So we can always wonder what we're doing, but really what we've got to do is sit down, get our plan organised and get a process working up, okay? So stop talking about it and do it is really the thing, because otherwise you will never get it. If you still do the scattergun approach, moving between markets, moving between stocks, not the way to do it. The way is to be focused on a certain group of stocks, a certain amount of stocks, and just play the game as hard as you can with your trade plan. So you need to follow a system and you need to follow a trade plan, and that's how you start to get to these next big things, and it will work for you once you start doing it. So it does take discipline and management doing this, as we know. I try to harp on about this all the time. It's really important. It equals control, which is what we need to have, total control of what we're doing in the market and how we're behaving, not letting the market dictate to us, but tell it what we're going to do. And that might be taking a loss, it might be taking a win. We never know. Process of taking your defined signals. So within your group of stocks, you always take every signal. You weed out the weak with your stops that fail, and you let the strong run by following up with your trailing stop. Okay, so that's really a simple process of just weeding out the weak and letting the strong run on. This simple process will ultimately target and capture the strong trends from within the group of stocks that you're running. So some of the stocks that recently we've got here be Pro Medicus, Technology One, RIA, CBA, amazing, JBH, GMD, and Aristocrat. This is all from a defined portfolio, as you can see, of 150 stocks, which I cover. And when I run a portfolio, I have defined portfolio size, which could be 10 stocks, could be 5 stocks, whatever. So that's how I really do it, okay? So by controlling your data versus the stocks that you look at, and I know within the 150 stocks that I look at, there's going to be plenty of those next big thing opportunities. So the source of prospects, it may be less than 150, it may be 100, it could be less than that. It's up to you what you decide. And then you define your portfolio size so that you know you have a certain amount of capital, a certain amount of stocks you can buy. And when you have a full portfolio of 10 stocks, you have to wait till one falls out before you can buy another one. And that's how you control the portfolio and control its size. Okay, so by using a simple trend analysis process, you'll be able to capture some of the big trends from within your source of prospects. Okay, trends are regular events. When managed properly, they can be the next big thing. They will come, these trends, they always do, time and time again. Nothing changes on the stock market. Okay, so that's about all I've got for you today. Just sort of talking a little about the next big things and how we can get onto these things, but it is require a bit of work and a bit of patience to do this sort of thing. So we're searching for the next big thing, and there are many of them. Is, to put it bluntly, a monotonous step-by-step process supported by patience and discipline. So there's a bit of hard work that involved. You might define it as hard work, but for me, it's a challenge that I enjoy every day. It's fun and it's challenging, and it keeps me alive, which is what I do. So I hope you enjoyed today. Hope the market's good to you today, which it probably will be. Watch your trends, heed your stops, keep it simple, have fun, and most of all, stay safe. And I will see you all next week for some more happy reports and happy analysis, I hope. Okay, see you later. Bye now.